He desires that we walk in our God-given inheritance as His born-again children who walk in the Spirit. Let me begin by sharing with you what the enemy did to get the lie started in my life. In doing so, I pray that my story will help you recognize the evil devices he is trying to employ in your life. The probability of me. I almost died before I was born. I'm an 80s baby who was conceived during an era when getting rid of a baby in the womb was not encouraged as it is today. My parents were in their mid and late 20s, and a whole mess of things had led them to each other. They had been married for 4 years when they found out they were pregnant with me. At this season of their lives, they were still learning how to survive marriage and create a unified team. My mother often tells me that if she had known having kids would have made her marriage better, she would have done it a lot sooner. It was not until I asked her recently to tell me everything about that period in her life that she revealed to me that having me was something that she and my dad chose to do. They had an abortion before my birth, and they had one after I was born. My birth was allowed intentionally to happen. To this day, she can barely speak about it. I asked her to share her story with me so that I could communicate it accurately. It was important for me to know the whole truth. Before I was born, I was pursued by the threat of death. You might have heard the scripture, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy." John 10:10. He often starts early. I cannot imagine a better way to take out a generation of world changers who are created in the image of God than to persuade their parents that life only begins outside of the womb. If that is a lie they believe, then they can choose to end that life before it ever begins. My mom and dad had their reasons for what they chose at the time, as do others who make similar decisions. But I am grateful that by God's grace, I made it to the other side. God urges us to choose life. Today, I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life, so that you and your descendants might live. Deuteronomy 30:19. I believe he equips us to do what the enemy sometimes tries to convince us that we cannot do. Right up until the moment of my birth, my parents believed I was a boy. That belief came from a few things. First, doctors did not conduct sonograms at the time, at least not in my mother's neighborhood. Second, I was born into a superstitious family. My mother's family practiced a religion that believed spirits communicated with them, and those spirits said that I would be a boy. My dad already had 2 girls and 1 boy from his first marriage, so I think they wanted another boy to even things out. I find it fascinating how people are always looking to structure things so that their lives can function smoothly. The heavenly realm functions within a similar system of structure. Perhaps that is why the human race is bent towards following that pattern. In my studies of the spiritual realm, I have learned that there is the mystery of the Godhead, who is 3 in 1, Father, Spirit, and Son, but that there are also other spiritual beings. The evil one goes by many names: Satan, devil, adversary, accuser, tempter, or serpent. He does not want to live under God's authority. We learn of this evil creature in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis 3. When we meet him, he is in the Garden of Eden, tempting Adam and Eve to sin. He is our first illustration of evil. He distorts truth and tries tirelessly to drag God's creation into spiritual rebellion. This being is against everything that is good, and he works through lies to lead humanity into disorder. These forces of both good and evil had an impact on my life from the very beginning. My abrupt entrance. I guess I have never been one to be subtle in anything, and I came into this world in a similar fashion. My mom's due date was December of 1986, but she recalls that timeline changing after she was given a plant from one of her superstitious relatives. The Rose of Jericho, also known as the resurrection plant, is commonly found in northern Africa and southwest Asia. Despite starting as a shriveled brown ball,